I didn't want to make this video. Though this is not the kind of content that I plan on making very often, though this is very old news, and though I haven't had an upload in several months, one could say that I felt inspired to make this. A lot of people had a lot to say about this particular situation, and I am more than a little surprised that nobody graced it with the response that it was desperately asking for. Though, to be honest, it probably didn't even deserve it. Little Brotherhood Studios, an immensely talented individual who I can't condone destroying parts, I'm sorry, that's messed up. Though that is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his reputation online. He is also a very outspoken Christian. I can relate to that. I myself was raised Roman Catholic. The saying goes that nobody hates Christians more than Christians. But hey, I am not one to judge how you go about loving God, so long as you're not ostentatiously putting your worship out on the internet for no reason.
Dear Jesus,
oh God, no, stop. Why are you ostentatiously putting your worship on the internet for no reason? Tack the part to a stick or something, please. That paint's gonna get all clumpy and dry weird. Why are you pointing a camera at your screen instead of just using a video ripper? It takes like a minute to Google one. Okay, there is more here that I cannot condone. But at the very least, he is not pointlessly dividing his audience by bringing politics into the mix. Oh, what the fuck? If you are watching this, then you probably remember Bionicle Day 2023. This was basically the event where the community came out en masse to tell LEGO that we are alive and well. It's actually what inspired me to start my channel off on Bionicle content, so you can thank the organizers directly for the world being an objectively worse place. Essenger and Cryoshell's brainchild, As Above So Below, was the crown jewel of this entire event. This song got everyone's attention, even Grandpa Faber. Look, Chris, I'm fresh out of grandfather's and have 2 open slots. It could be you. It stirred passion up all across the community, but as with any piece of media, the love for it was unfortunately not unanimous. And among those infinitely more critical of the piece were the man of the hour, Little Brotherhood Studios. To my understanding, the channel is run by 2 brothers. For the purposes of this vid, I'll be talking about the one on screen. And while he did admit that it sounds nice, the following video really demonstrates the mindset of someone who's a little too distrusting of the mundane. To preface this, Cryoshell, while assembled by the LEGO Group, is no longer on their payroll, allowing them to take their blossoming career and go where they like with it. They are more or less an autonomous indie band, not bound to the whims of any major corporation. And Essenger is the one-man version of that, pure and simple. As somebody who is also a full-time working adult, putting something high production together in your free time alone is something that is extremely stressful and also exceedingly difficult. This only painted what you are about to see as a spiteful, jealous fit at best, and paranoid ravings at worst. But before I start, a word from this video's sponsor, Respect. Do not harass this man. Yes, his views seem exceedingly eccentric, but if you must engage him, please do not just call him crazy. Be constructive, not destructive. With that out of the way, let us sample a unique take on a labor of love that for many of us was an instant classic.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, dude, I freaking love Elden Ring. I'm sorry, where were we? Also, I gotta find a place to put this in somewhere. I have edited down his video a lot. Anywhere where you see on-screen graphics or special effects or anything like that, that's all me. The most editing the original video has is the intro card, a series of jump cuts, and 1 or 2 tracks laid over everything. So just keep that in mind whenever you see some visual gags. That's not him having a good sense of humor about all this.
This is definitely not a normal kind of video that we do for Little Brotherhood Studios channel, but I felt very inspired to make this video.
Hey, that's what I said.
So apparently they have this thing called Bionicle Day. I'm aware that it exists.
I mean, it's a little more than just something, my dude. Come on, don't sell it short. People put honest work into this.
But, truth be told, me and Christopher kind of created our own Bionicle Day, probably like 6 years before anyone officially created Bionicle Day, and set it in October, our version's in April. So I guess that's our Bionicle Project Toa Day.
My dude, please do not lead with this. Casually slipping that in may lead people to believe that you are jealous of Bionicle Day and its success over Project Toa. You'll notice this over the course of the video. He really doesn't seem to notice just how he's framing himself with the things that he says and does. You'll notice the familiar lack of self-awareness in Homeboy's eyes as he spits at you what he wants you to think are just theories, but his language and behavior very much dictate that he has already taken his assumption as gospel. Hey, no pun intended.
It sounds really cool, and there are some lines that I'm just like, yeah. But some of these lyrics, I want to go back and rehear some of these. Okay, you know there is a group of global elites that are trying to put chemical things in the air to block out the sun.
Oh! I didn't know that. Could I get a citation?
My source is that I made it the
You're gonna make Alex Jones a blush. You do realize that rich, secretive people who break the law on a regular basis also benefit from the sun existing? The sun helps your skin synthesize vitamin D, which is extremely important for your overall mental health. It helps you feel happy. Why then would this global cabal be trying to blot out the sun if you cannot live a quality life without it? Also, it, keeps the planet from freezing. How precisely does that benefit the rich who love traveling the world, sunny beaches, and stretching out little Timmy? And that is ignoring the fact that this comes completely out of left field.
Let's just forget about that one. That one was a little contrived to start with.
Like, only a little.
The world outside is dying? What is that in reference to? I'm feeling a trend here.
You need 3 for it to be a trend, and this is only the second time that you have pulled the aux cord. And it also has nothing to do with the last thing that you said. Please explain.
I cannot help but think this song is about the COVID-19 lockdowns.
Officially, looking way too much into it, the story of Bionicle is about a world ripped away from its purpose and devolved into petty squabbles amongst the inhabitants who have long forgotten their purpose within the universe. But before we continue, I've got a quick question to ask. Why haven't you mentioned Bionicle at all?
I mean, think about it.
I didn't, it's stupid, please move on.
The world outside is dying. Could that be in reference to the plandemic?
What is that word? Somebody get this man a medal for the Logic Olympics, because holy shit, how did you make that leap? Dig deep enough, look deep enough, and you will find allegory and meaning absolutely everywhere. However, this does not mean that it is intentional. It is a common trait of modern music to use vague wording that fits many interpretations. Yours, however, happens to be as inaccurate as it can probably get.
Convincing everybody that the world is dying because of a global pandemic while we slowly drown. You could consider that slowly drowning. Some people in China were welded into their houses. They could not come out. Did that really help us? Rates went through the roof when we were locked down.
Yeah, Essenger and Cryoshell, how can you endorse the Chinese government bullying its citizenry in such a way? Because that's the thing you're saying? That thing that he just said, that's what you're saying, right? How could you say that? Like, the assumption and extrapolation here is a little bit jarring, don't you think? Also, he wonders what that's referencing. Well, Matanui, and by extension the entire universe, was dying back during the 2007 arc, which also took place entirely underwater. I can understand if you had never thought about this until now, but after hearing it, you are stupid if this doesn't make complete and total sense to you. Why wouldn't this song be about, you know, Bionicle, the thing it was written to celebrate? The very thing that your content, LBS, is also centered around. Matanui was sitting around on a big ocean planet for over 1,000 years, while the Agori and Glatorian struggled to survive on their broken world. To put this into perspective, he was gone for so long that they actively forgot about the giant robot they built and sent into space to find a solution to their problem. Do I claim the song is actively alluding to this? No. Do I believe the song is trying to invoke the same kind of imagery? Absolutely.
Wow, could it be more spot on than this?
Oh, sure you can, Lilac.
I love it when people fucking kill.
See what I mean?
Locked in your paradise?
It's the GSR.
They mention things burning in this song a lot. I can't help but think about what happened in Hawaii in Lahaina.
Oh, so the song's also talking about the Lahaina fires, which happened on the day of its premiere? Yeah, that makes sense to me. It's not jarring at all. That's some fine prep work right there, Essenger and Cryoshell. Seriously, well done. Totally not jarring at all. I believe you 100%.
They say it was a wildfire, but it was actually DEWs, and you can look that up for yourself.
Wait, no! What? You don't get to make bold claims like that and then just relieve yourself of the burden of proof. It doesn't work that way. Also, for those who don't know, DEW means directed energy weapons, basically lasers. When you make quick, off-the-cuff allusions to conspiracies like this, you realize it does nothing more than make people even more skeptical to your point of view, right? I would say we need a source, but we are way off the mark at this point. How did we get here? From burning?
Things burning.
Like, fire and its effects perfectly invoke imagery of darkness falling across the land. Why would they make us want to think of darkness and shadow, I wonder?
Well, that's really catchy. I mean, it's like as above, so below. I'm not 100% sure what it means.
Perfect, my boy. You have finally discovered what we call death of the author. It is a concept that implies the point at which a writer's intentions give rise to unintended meaning within their work. Sometimes, like it is here, the meaning is intentionally vague, so you can have your own understanding of the media. You fill in the gaps with your imagination, like you did as a child when you made a mock to represent a Toa of every element. Yes, you did. We all did this.
Up to this point, like I said, it has all been just 100% conjecture from me. I could be totally wrong about this.
You know, you say that, but your language kind of seems to be suggesting the opposite. And the phrase of the day is confirmation bias. It's like dishonesty, but you lie to yourself too. You have already reached your conclusion and are scrounging for any evidence you can find to support it. If only anything here really did prove that your interpretations were anything close to reality. I'm really sorry to keep asking this, but you do like Bionicle, right? Your channel is about Bionicle content? It's a little hard to tell because you don't seem to be talking about it at all.
Humor me a little bit as I go a little further. I can't help but think about this stuff.
Can't help but think about this stuff. I am sorry that you were feeling particularly paranoid on today of all days when you recorded this. I hope you are not like this every day. This seems like a horrible way to live.
This is about COVID-19, isn't it?
Oh my great spirit. You do realize that Motunui was infected with a virus, right? This is what triggered, like, the Great Cataclysm?
That's what came out that everyone had to in their arms. It's like, oh, that's the cure. It's gonna save millions of people from COVID-19 and introduce the world to a brand new phenomenon known as died suddenly.
You can tell that he's never been vaccinated in his life because he thinks that shots make a noise. You'd be the one to talk about sudden death, my friend. Ah yes, the universal expression of a sound mind.
I'm legitimately getting concerned right now.
Why? The song's invoking imagery.
I know they're doing a lot of things with chemtrails in the sky, trying to control weather phenomenon, and it is obscuring the sky.
Oh, of course, dude. Everyone know that. It's common knowledge. Yo, dude, obscured sky, that makes me think of, like, Shadow and stuff. Come to think of it, there's this franchise that I really like that has a lot to do with Shadow. It's called Bionicle.
Who wrote this song? Honestly.
An independent and very talented twink and a band that was discarded by LEGO over 10 years ago. Neither the devil nor the Illuminati give a shit about a bunch of aging plastic-obsessed losers like us who are stuck in the past.
Am I crazy here or what?
I am going to treat him like a human being. Because he too is a big, stupid, hairless monkey. Just like me. Except I have dog ears. Dinner plate squad, go home. What the fuck?
Superiority of my ears, familiaris trash!
Rendius, I was just joking. Come on, you can.
only tolerate your Xenos filth because I am in need of shelter and
Okay, be
snacks.
calm, please. You don't need excess
Follow some
gunfire.
treachery!
Please do not do that. That is going to cause a whole breach. I don't need this. I'm in the middle of the thing. You know something, pal? You are getting too close.
Oh, but we can turn the tide, that's good.
Yes, it is good. Why are you not taking this line seriously? You do not have to accept defeat. You do not have to accept the fact that your hairline is vanishing. You can do something about it. Buy some Rogaine. I am left to assume that you simply find it easier to think you are right and to not have to change your perspective. My friend, sloth is a sin. And so is pride. But honestly, all this is just conjecture, right? Like, I could be wrong about every bit of this. Gotta lay down that safety net for myself.
Hold the phone. There's an apostrophe there. That means that we are never built to... Is it referencing something more nefarious like transhumanism?
Nothing gets past this guy, does it?
If that's just a typo, it's like, okay, let's move on. Probably a typo.
Oh, see guys, there's hope for him. He's got some common sense. Unless he was being facetious.
Oh, again, I can't help but think about the people in Lahaina right now.
And I can't help but think that you've made up your mind about this song.
Lockdown. Why are they singing a song about the lockdown?
Because Makuta won. He became the universe. People had nowhere to go until he decided to go push Motunui's shit in Numbara Magna. Because Motunui was an island paradise where the Matoran were more or less marooned until they could go back to Metru Nui. And the song is very clearly painting it as a bad thing.
What, are they trying to get us used to the idea of being locked down? Just in case they want to, I don't know, do it again in a heater?
They would say something far more manipulative, like safe in your paradise, rather than something that has inherently negative connotations. Like, dude, I actually really appreciate you being here to ground me. Nearly forgot about reality for a second there.
I want to see the stars. But clearly they fade too far. This song is ominous.
I know, right? It's almost like it's intentional.
Can't see the stars. Have we gone too far? Because we've been destroying the planet, the environment. Oh!
If you'd like to know how it looks to be lost in your sauce, this is it. This is what it looks like to be so convinced, yet so insecure about your pessimistic worldview. I love how people like this never talk about actual conspiracies. Let's talk about the gaming companies who are trying to run digital casinos for children, corporations getting people killed because they put the dollar ahead of human life, or creepy adults putting their fetishes into children's shows.
So all that I've thrown out is just conjecture at this point.
Oh, obviously, you're not committed at all to the 50 or so heinous things you said about this song. I get you, bud.
I know that's the title of the song, but what in the world is that? What is that referencing? I don't even get it.
As above, so below is a simple hermetic paraphrase indicating that all things within the universe are linked, regardless of the scale between them. An intrinsic and irrefutable connection between the microcosm and the macrocosm. Now this applies to all levels of existence, but I will go ahead and give a society level example. Let's say a well-off CEO in New York throws his half-empty cup of coffee onto the sidewalk because he's a dick and he doesn't really want it anymore. Then, a hobo skitters out of the nearby alleyway and hurriedly laps up the remainder of the coffee within the cup. Conversely, when a man from the Bronx, in a drunken stupor, rear-ends that same CEO's car, it makes the CEO late to work. Hobo and guy from the Bronx represent the microcosm. CEO, macrocosm. You will notice that this demonstrates a two-way street, where despite the CEO having more power than the hobo or the man from the Bronx, they still have influence over one another.
It feels like there is something to that.
And there is. Matanui and the Great Spirit Robot are the macrocosm. The world of the Matoran, that's the microcosm. We will do another one. Makuta Pterodax and the virus, microcosm. The GSR crashing to Aqua Magna and the Great Cataclysm, macrocosm.
Is that like a phrase or something? Is that like biblical?
It is a paraphrase from an old Hermetic text, and is actually pre-biblical.
The more and more I listen to the lyrics, the more I'm like, I'm hearing things. Are they really there, or am I just, being paranoid? So, a little bit of paranoia can be helpful. It means you start questioning things, testing. I'm hearing things. Are they really there, or am I just, being paranoid? So.
Hey guys, just a little tangent. Let's forget about the video for a sec. Did you know that the alphabet actually contains a swear word if you look at these letters in particular and in this specific order? Fuck's wrong with school these days, I swear to God, teaching this shit to kids?
A little bit of paranoia can be healthy though. Because it means you start questioning things, testing the validity of things that people put out there, and honestly, we need to do that.
Caution is what we call a little bit of paranoia, my dude. Stuff like trying the lock on your door before going out, or double-checking anything written by a lying journalist.
We're talking about things that already is like, okay, red flags here all over the place.
Oh, so kind of like this video.
So, as above, so below.
No, dude, it makes for a bad oration when you have stuff in your mouth like your fingers when you're talking. That's actually really gross.
So, as above, so below, it is apparently a Baphomet? I'm not sure what the heck a Baphomet is.
No, it is a paraphrase from an old Hermetic text. It says that at the top of the page. Also, it should be noted that he skipped directly over the section of the page that denotes scholarly interpretations of the text, and went right to the occult part, directly below it. Now, hang on, the section of the page you're showing doesn't even refer to it as a Baphomet, however you're trying to use that word. Where did you get that from? You didn't make that up, did you? Also, the elephant in the room. Sure, you went over 20 years into the century without hearing the name Baphomet even once.
Sheep, look, symptomism. And it's sponsored by BEMSPY.
Oh my god, they're in Rotten Tomatoes too. It's almost like this was a movie or something. Oh wait, you had to have found that out when you initially Googled it, because looking up As Above, So Below immediately takes you to the film wiki.
As not Baphomet, symbolism, as above, so below, and the demonic actions are there for all to see.
What? So I had to catch myself halfway through doing a bunch of research about Baphomet and its validity as even a satanic icon, because I realized that I really do not even have to. We are once again far, far from where we started. You have dispensed with looking at the phrase within its philosophical or scholarly context, and tackled the first bit of occult heresy that you could lay your eyes on. Also, I'm loving the music here. It's making me take you super seriously. It's not making your point look at all like a joke. Like, dude, just calm down. This song was made to celebrate a toy line from our childhood. Hey guys, did you know that Makuta's name is actually derived from the Maori word makutu, meaning witchcraft or sorcery? Was LEGO perhaps trying to turn us away from our Lord and Savior and towards darker gods? And the Baraki? LEGO never precisely told us just where they got the word, but we know that it means warlord in the Matoran language. And I know that Baraki is a real African word thanks to Halo 3 ODST. African. And if Baraki means warlord, then... Oh my god! LEGO, you racist bastards.
Good grief.
I know, right? Reaching this much has just gotta be exhausting.
Give me the funkin' cookie.
The fuck?
I had no idea. I mean, it's like, I can't unknow this.
It's not so much that you cannot unknow it, it's that you will not unsee it. Your brain is desperately chasing patterns for dopamine highs.
I didn't even think about the fact that that could be potentially demonic.
I think that you've made it abundantly clear that you came in here looking for nothing but negative connotations. Maybe it would be better if you really were just jealous of Bionicle Day. This is sad.
This is...
Okay, why are you closer to me? Low-key, dude, that death stare you're giving me is making me extremely uncomfortable.
This is undeniable. This is blatant. This is...
Bullshit.
I had no idea it might be time to take this thing off of our favorite playlists.
And what, put this lousy and lazily edited video in its place?
You see something that corrupt, that evil being put into a Bionicle song?
Dude, are you okay?
It's like, I don't want to be the one to say it.
I am convinced that this is a lie. Setting aside the stiff and stilted way that you made this claim, I have no doubt in my mind that part of you is just chomping at the bit to ruin the reputation of a project that succeeded in every way over yours. And I kind of get it. It can be pretty exciting to think that you're blowing the lid on something big. Yeah, you know what? I actually don't get it at all. This is messed up. I'm starting to think that you have a very self-centered perspective of the world. You speak almost like some kind of religious authority figure without any hint of modesty. And you draw an excessive amount of attention to how much you revere God, as if to put yourself on a pedestal as the ideal follower. That's no different from the crappy pastors and reverends that everybody's so sick of today. And above all, you are not trusting of anything if you think that it is popular. Especially if you think that it is popular. Pushing good virtues, standing up for others, Chief, that just ain't gonna cut it. Folk can't just enjoy things, they gotta make sure there's no Satan parallels in there or otherwise it's tainted. I am acutely aware of what self-delusion looks and sounds like. Honestly, I think he knew precisely what he was doing when he made this. He believes that God wanted him to make this video in the same way that 13-year-old me wanted to believe that his tulpa was some kind of guardian angel. You tell yourself it's real, you say you know it's real. But just beneath the surface, you absolutely know that you are full of shit.
But after I knew, I could not in good conscience not make this video. Your new favorite song, look what's really in it.
I find myself having to wonder what you actually mean by this. It could just be the witchcraft talking, but the song sounds much more like a struggle against evil than something in support of it. And even if this were some dog whistle, which it isn't for like-minded individuals, that wouldn't make the song evil. What you have done here is tantamount to saying that Funny Mustache Man thought that breathing was a good idea. Therefore, breathing is evil. Like, if Mask of Light had a random 6, 3 times in the background over the course of the entire film, that wouldn't somehow recode the moral messaging of the movie, it would be exactly the same. We got here from you grasping at straws and blatantly ignoring the broader themes of Bionicle, possibly on purpose.
Because let's be honest, the devil's been trying to get his hands on all forms of society. We cannot expect him to leave Bionicle alone.
Like, dude, can you hear yourself right now? A Bionicle fan listens to this song and relives the entire theme. But you listen to it and think that Satan is trying to infect your aging, soon-to-be-forgotten childhood?
I wasn't out to dig up dirt on this song. I liked it.
Cap.
Incorporating these demonic things into Bionicle.
Oh, how dare you. Like, dude, we've covered everything. From chemtrails to viruses, wildfires, Mountain Dew testing, a pagan occultist drawing named after a mispronunciation of Mohammed and co-opted by rebellious teens and Satanists within the last century. So what exactly are you saying this song is even about?
I don't know.
Finally, some honesty.
You know what? That's it. I'm done. That's all I have to say on it. I didn't even want to make this video.
Oh my god, he said the thing. He said the thing that means the opposite of what it says.
But I knew I had to, so people will know.
3 cuts. That is 3 cuts that you did not need. Dude, you could have just done another take. Like, I at the very least have the power of basic editing to hide my spliced together lines. Congratulations, you can use Premiere, now learn to rehearse. This is just lazy.
To all my fellow brothers in Christ out there and other believers, in this day and age, we have got to be more discerning about what we see in the world, in entertainment, in our favorite toy franchise.
It's funny because in a different context, I could agree with this. In this day and age where hardcore exploitation is the name of the game, it is up to you and your loved ones not to fall victim to your vices. Because where there is unhealthy habits, there is always someone there to gain from egging you on. Be it a tendency to overeat, choking your chicken to death 7 times a day, being perpetually upset with the world, shopping beyond your means, never wanting to leave your bed, wishing that you had your neighbor's bank account or fancy toys, or obsessing way too much over your image.
There is an enemy out there who is trying to pervert every good thing that exists in this world. And if there was anything good in Bionicle before, he is trying to strangle it out.
Oh, come on, dude, don't be so hard on yourself. Hey, you and your brother's stop motion stuff? No cap, that looks amazing. Probably better if you just stick to that over moral grandstanding. Oh wait, he was talking about Satan, wasn't he? Yeah.
You must ask yourself, is this from God? And if it is not from God, is it from the devil?
Oh my gosh, spoken like an 8-year-old quoting his pastor. You have no idea what this means.
You have to ask these questions now.
Oh yeah? How about later? The heck? No! Don't treat me like we're friends or something. Look, I thought Christians were all supposed to be about love and respect. Except to religions and cultures that weren't their own. Seriously though, don't touch me!
You have to ask these questions now. Things are a lot more black and white than they used to be.
Oh. I get it. I get it. Reject all nuance, endorse guilt by association. Yeah, that mindset definitely does not make people more stupid and easy to manipulate. Now your entire position makes sense. It's very obvious what you're doing. It has horns that might be Satan, so don't go near it, okay? It's probably evil anyway.
Jesus Christ is our King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He alone deserves all the glory, praise, and worship, not demons.
Holy shit, you're cringe. Like, you can say whatever you want, all you want, but your actions, putting a prayer in a video about Bionicle,
I want to please you.
embarrassingly grasping at straws just to demonize this song and the people that made it, and then remaining pridefully steadfast in the face of earned and perfectly logical criticism, make your wince-worthy stolen valor as a follower of God extremely clear to anyone with a functioning brain. This, not just this video, but everything you've done has always just been about you and your desire to feel special. Cease the war on fun and stop bringing the real world into everything, you would-be tyrant. This song has about as much to do with demons as your vid has to do with Bionicle. Also, this is an OC of mine, her name is Cerberus. Go subscribe to my Blue Sky and Twitter if you want to see more artwork like this, please. Again with the music, you're not a cartoon character, stop being so dramatic. It's the cringeworthy stuff like this that suggests that he's picked up most of his social cues from cartoons, which is a solid case for him being on the spectrum, just like me. Looks like not getting vaxxed didn't help you on that one, Chief. You did it again. And you had to, didn't you? You are so extra that it hurts. The fact that you felt the need to record yourself hitting the dislike button when it was pretty obvious that you were gonna do that anyway makes it. You've got an ego bigger than Texas, don't you, buddy?
I feel like I understand why God wants us to make Project Toa.
Oh god, he's deleting the video off his PC too.
I'm so fucking proud of you, you dumb shit. You get to take him into Super Hampton where there's a seafood buffet.
I feel like I understand why God wants us to make Project Toa. I feel like I am really literally beginning to see why. To understand why this is important to him. Because we are living in a world at war.
Motherfucker out here talking like he God's chosen ambassador for a cancelled children's toy line. This really is just envy, isn't it? You're out here being a Scrooge because according to you, Bionicle Day equals Satan, and Project Toa, that equals Jesus. That is divine comedy. This is funny. Please go touch grass. And yeah, it can sting when somebody else's hard work pays off for them. I remember how jealous I felt when I found out that some Randy got to work with Cryoshell and had his dream come true. We can't help feeling the way that we do, but that doesn't mean that you have to endorse those feelings, or act like they are not wrong. Then I heard the song, saw how it breathed new life into the fandom for the first time in nearly a decade, and I thought to myself, Now let me be clear about something. I have never experienced what you would call a sign from God, divine intervention, whatever you want to call it. I am firmly of the belief that we are on our own out here. The best that I can do is to try to do good by all creation. And to put my life in the hands of one who expects me to sink or float is to reject the gift of controlling it altogether. But when I heard this song, and saw how it was bringing people together, bringing fans of Bionicle that had long forgotten it back into the fold, and even rousing interest in the younger crowd with people like my little brother, whom the theme predates by many years, I could not help but smile and think that God lets us have nice things sometimes. Thank you, Essenger. Thank you, Cryoshell. Thank you, all my supporters on Patreon who have waited an ass-long amount of time for me to get a video out. With that, my contribution of cringe has been made on the subject. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Of course, I'm just saying that because I want engagement, but I also have been kind of starved for conversation on this topic. Gonna give a final thank you to the patrons, and you all have yourselves a nice night. Thank you.
Nah, funk that. We're not dumb yet.
What the fuck?
My name's Lilac, or Rabbit. I'm the homicidal bun model that lives on Sheep's ship, eats all of his food, and steals his Patreon money. I really want to thank you all for sticking with Sheep and I despite our uploading schedule being the equivalent of funking trash. This year has been a year. And hopefully by the end of it, we'll be all moved in and settled into our new and much bigger apartment. So a lot more work can be done and a lot more consistent video and streams will be put out. But aside from that, to the patrons, the people on YouTube who come to watch the stream, and even to the people on Twitch, we really do thank you for sticking with us. Thank you so much. Also, Sheep is streaming right now, so go fucking watch it before I bite your ankles.